Here we have verse 36 of the 6th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus has just made this staggering claim to these who have been following him for some time and presumably had seen the feeding of the 5,000, indeed had eaten the food that he had multiplied and fed to them. And yet, of course, now Jesus, in a sense, says something that stands in contrast to that physical bread that he had provided to them, indicating that the one that comes to him would never hunger again, the one that believed in him would never thirst again, that he had given ample reason for them to accept that, and yet, as a matter of fact, they hadn't. They hadn't seen the sign value of the miracles that he had performed, and they hadn't appreciated the weightiness of the assertions that he had made. And so he reaches this somewhat unhappy conclusion now in verse 36. Allah, contracted here before a vowel. Allah is the strong conjunction, so it's as if to say but with some emphasis on it. But, apon, this is the first person singular, second aorist active indicative. You've probably noticed that the ending there, apon, can be either the first person singular or the third person plural. They're both identical, and you have to let the context determine it. In this case, manifestly, it's referring to Jesus. So, I said, humen, dative. This is the second person plural dative pronoun. I said to you, hoti, can mean either that or because. Context determines. In this case, it's that. I said to you that. Kai can mean and, also, even, and presumably here it means also, that also. And then heorakata. Heorakata is from harao, which means to see. This is the perfect, the second person plural, perfect active indicative. The perfect tense implies action that has taken place in the past but continues to have binding effect in some form or other in the present. So it's as if you said, I said to you that you have also seen me and continue to see me is really the force of it. The meh here is not in some manuscripts, but the sense of it is probably plain enough. You have seen meh, me, the accusative of the pronoun for the first person singular. You have seen me, kai, and, same as this. So it could be both and, or it could just be and in both cases. But you have both seen me and kai u pistueta. And pistueta is from pistuo, I believe, second person plural, present active indicative, and you do not believe. I said to you that you have seen me, and you do not believe. We don't know exactly when Jesus said this to them. We can kind of construe it from the prior narrative, but we don't have that exact quote before us. But certainly we can assume that the words to that effect were plain enough in their minds. They had seen him. They'd seen what he'd done. They'd seen his miracles. They'd seen the incontestable evidence of the claims that he made. And yet, in fact, in spite of all of that, they do not believe.